Hello, and welcome to Families in Recovery, a family education video produced by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Another stage is the honeymoon. It typically starts about 2 to 4 weeks after withdrawal stops and lasts another 4 weeks. People often have more energy and feel better, but people in recovery and family members need to be careful about overconfidence and unfocused energy during this stage. People in this stage can feel a false sense of control and may attend treatment sessions less often. People need to stay focused on recovery, attend all their treatment sessions, and keep going to mutual help meetings.
They were teaching me and developing my skills, learning skills, communication, all of that, and how to express myself. And the cravings that I've had, at first, I wanted to leave, but I knew, I had to stay there.
During treatment, people learn how to identify what triggers their substance use and how to avoid relapse.
I am not exempt from relapse. I am not exempt from becoming, a using addict once again. So I need to be aware and conscientious of that. And that's how I approach my recovery, is by staying aware of potential events that may trigger me to relapse. Staying away from people who use.
Because I learned about the honeymoon phase in the Matrix family group, I was able to really, when it was happening, I was able to really be aware of it. And part of what happened was my son became very overconfident. He was going to 12-step meetings, and I think he felt like everything was just okay, and he forgot all about what had just happened. And one of the things that happened was he thought he could hang around with his friends that were still drinking and using, and because of that, he relapsed. And I was able to intervene with the therapist at Matrix and go ahead and put him into residential treatment.
In treatment, clients are taught to focus on improving their health and outlook by exercising and staying active. Exercising is important during recovery, and it is much easier to start exercising when the person has a lot of excess energy than it will be later in the recovery process.
For me, I went to the gym a lot. I got heavily into physical fitness. I did a lot of activities with those in the 12-Step Fellowship. Where I'm from, in the 12-Step Fellowship, we went bowling, we went out to eat, went to coffee shops, went to movies, and I'd never done any of that stuff.
We're playing ball, going on camping trips, experiencing life like I've never done before, traveling. But it was always with others that were experienced that living life, because I knew nothing about living. I knew a lot about dying, but very little about living. And so I had to get with others to show me how to live.
I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to spend a lot of time with my music. It was actually a really, really serious issue for me, that drinking was kind of erasing those things from my life, So to have those things back were important, and to be okay in doing those was a gift. I found them very relaxing. They were very fulfilling. Eventually, both took the place of alcohol in my life and filled that void.
For family members, the honeymoon stage is a time to learn and use behaviors that will increase the chances of the loved one remaining abstinent and in recovery.
I never once said, don't go to a meeting. I would always encourage meeting attendance and going to meetings, and we'd go together, we'd go separately.
Well, I felt some of the most important things that I did when she was in treatment was to do what the treatment people said were important, even if she didn't like it, and even if I didn't like it. And just to have a little bit of blind trust in there, to have a little bit of blind trust in order to learn a new way. So the things that I would do in treatment to be supportive would be to support what the other people were telling her in her life,
Support can also include things like changing old routines that jeopardize recovery and better communication. It's helpful if everyone openly talks about relapse triggers. Attending sessions like this helps family members learn to recognize triggering situations.
I believe it's important to discuss things with our family members because we can't get support unless we ask for it.